Good morning, PEP students. This morning we're going to look further on the mean or the average, and we're going to be looking at some worded problems involving the mean or the average. So the last lesson that we did, we looked generally at the mean, mode, and median. But our focus today is on the mean, and we'll be looking at some worded problems. So just to remind you, the mean is also called the average, and to find the mean, we add all the terms that are given and we divide that total by the number of terms. So I'm going to do some of that, just that simple calculating the mean, just to remind you. So let's say we have some numbers. So let's say we have 43, 52, 76, 16, 40. So if we want the mean, otherwise called the average, we're going to add these numbers. So there are 5 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So we're going to add 43, 52, 76, 16, 40. We're going to add them together to get the total. So 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 12, that's 17. 5 and 5, 10, 17, 18, 22. And we're going to divide that by 5 since it's 5 numbers. So 2, 2, 7. 5 into 22, 4 times. And 5 into 27, 5 times. Remainder 2. So the mean or average would be 45 and 2/5, or 45.4. That would be the mean. Let's just do another one quickly. So this is reminding us of how to find the mean. So if they give you the set of numbers and they want the mean or the average, so 30, 0, 14, 95. So we have a great gap between the smallest and the biggest. So the range is 95. Remember, the range is the difference between the smallest and the biggest terms. So the mean or the average of this set of numbers would be 30 plus 0. We have to include that. It's one of the terms. Plus 14. So even though it's 0, it's still a term, and we have to count it when we're seeing how many terms, right? We have to count. 0 is one of the terms. So there are what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms here. All right, so adding these up, 4 and 5, 9 and 3, 12. 3 and 1, 4, 5, 6, and 9, 15 and 5, 20. So now we're going to divide that by 6 because it's 6 numbers. Remember, 0 is a number. So we can't say it's 5 numbers just because 0 means nothing. It is one of the numbers, so it's 6 numbers. So 6 into 20 goes 3 times, remainder 2. And 16 to 22 goes 3 times. Remainder 4. So it's 33 and 4 over 6, or 2/3. So 33 and 2/3, or 33.66. And that is, so we can rewrite it as a fraction, 33 and 2/3. That is our mean or average. So we add up all the numbers and we divide it by the amount of numbers. So let's look now at some problems, some worded problems. And even though I'm saying worded problems, I'm not going to be writing out the problems. I'm going to be reading out the problems to you. So you can quickly jot down if you want in worded form, so that you can have it to look back at, to say, okay, this is what the problem was, and this is how we solved it. But I'm going to be reading the problem out to you. So the first problem says, the mean, so they're giving us the mean of 5 numbers is 8, right? And they want to know what is the total. What's the total of the 5 numbers? So remember, if to get the mean, we add them up, so we get the total, and divide by the number of numbers. Then if we are told the mean, so the mean is 8 and it's 5 numbers, how do we find the total? We multiply the mean by the amount of numbers, and that will give us the total. Sorry, not 3. So it's 5 numbers. So if you are given the mean and you're given how many numbers and you want the total, you multiply the mean by the amount of numbers. So if number 2 says the mean of 2 numbers is 63. The mean of 2 numbers is 63. What is the total? So again, if the mean of the 2 numbers is 63, it's 2 numbers, so the total would be 63 times 2. So that would be 326, and 2 6 is 12. A third one like this, and then we move on to another type of question. So the mean of 10 numbers. The mean of 10 numbers is 9.6. What is the total? It doesn't matter that it's a decimal, fraction, whatever. The same principle applies. You add, you multiply the mean by the number of items. So we know when we're multiplying by 10, we just move the decimal point 1 place. So that would be 96. All right, so if the mean of two numbers question 4, the mean of two numbers is 25. That's the mean, right? The mean of two numbers is 25. If one of the numbers, so one of the numbers is 30, what is the other number? So let me hear some ideas how you would solve this problem. Tell me how you would approach this problem in the chat. The mean of two numbers is 25. One of the numbers is 30. How are we going to find the other number? Let me hear your ideas. All right, so John is saying, John, I'm not sure which question you're answering. I just see you put in some numbers. You need to let me know which one of the, when you're posting your answers, students, let me know which number you're answering. Aiden is saying subtract 5. Subtract 5 from what? All right, so John, you're saying the answer for number 4 is 70. The mean of two numbers is 25. And one of the numbers is 30. So you're saying the other number is 70. If one of the numbers is 30 and the other is 70, would the mean be 25? When you add 30 and 70, you'd get 100 and then divide by 2. That wouldn't give 25 as the mean. Aiden is saying the other number is 30. So let me know the process that you're using. 30 minus 5 equals 25. But remember, Aiden, it's two numbers. And to get the mean, we would have divided the total by 2, right? So to get the total, what do? We are told how many numbers and we are told the total. We are told the mean. So how do we find the total first? Najara is saying the other number is 20. So tell me how you get the 20, Najara. So John is saying 50 is the total, which is correct. And Najaro is correct, but he's not telling me how he got it. So we know the mean is 25 and it's two numbers. So the total is 25 times 2. The total is 50. And if one of the numbers is 30, then the other one would be 50 minus 30. So the other number would be 20. So Najaro is correct. I'm not sure if this is the method he used, but he's correct. All right, look at this other problem. So the mean of three numbers, is 36. So the mean of three numbers is 36. Two of the numbers are 40 and 15. What is the other number? So how would you work this one now? Work it. Tell me your answer. Tell me the method you used. The mean of three numbers is 36. Two of the numbers are 40 and 15. What is the other number? Najara is saying subtract. Oh, well, your answer is coming in after we work it out, Najara, so you have to be faster than that. All right, so for this one, John is saying the answer is 53. And his method is, first of all, we multiply the mean by the amount of numbers. So that would be 36 times 3. So let's do that. So we know the mean is 36 and it's three numbers. All right, so let me use another color. So that's 36 times 3. The mean times the amount of numbers will give us the total, and that is 108. We know two of the numbers are 40 and 15. So if all three of them add up to 108, so John is saying he added the 40 and the 15. So those are the two numbers that we know. And he got 55. And then to find the missing number now, you take that 55 from the total 108. And that's how we got 53. So John, you're correct. The third number is 53. So we multiply the mean by the amount of numbers, add the two numbers that we know already, and take that from the total, and we have 53. All right. Number 6. The total of 7 numbers is 105, and we want to know the mean. So they give us the total already. It's 105. How do we find the mean for number 6? The total of 7 numbers is 105. What is the mean? All right, so Najara says 105 divided by 7. John says the same thing. All right, so yeah, because remember, if we were given the set of numbers and we're asked to find the mean, we would have added the numbers to get the total first and then divide it by the amount of numbers. So if they already give us the total, they're just taking away one step that we had to do. So they are simplifying our work for us. We don't have to add up anything to get the total. They're telling us what the total is. So all we need to do now is divide. So 7 into 10, 1 time, remainder 3, and 7 into 35, 5 times. So the answer is 15 for the mean. So both John and Najara are correct. And number 7 The total of 11 numbers is 46. All right, so what is the mean? Work that out quickly for me. The total of 11 numbers is 46. So what would be the mean? Sajarta and Aiden also got 15 for their answer for question 6. So what's the answer for question 7? You know the total is 46. It's 11 numbers. Aiden is saying 11 divided by 46. No, that's not correct, Aiden. We would not divide 11 by 46. Look at it again. What would we do to find the mean? So it's 46 divided by 11. Right, so John says 46 divided by 11, and John is saying he got 4.6. So let's do that and see what we get. 46 divided by 11. So 11 into 46 goes 4 times. And that remained that 44. So it's remainder 2. And 11 into 20 goes 1 time. Remainder 9, and 11 into 90 goes 8 times. So I'm not getting 4.6, John. I'm getting 4.18, which we could round off to 4.2. But the method was correct. We would divide 46 by 11, right? Aiden, not 11 by 46. We divide the total by the amount of numbers, not the amount of numbers by the total. The total divided by the amount of numbers. All right, so let's look at some other types of questions involving the mean. All right, so this is number 8. So the total of 4 numbers, the total of 4 numbers is 32, right? The number 8 and the number 11 are added. What is the new mean? What is the new mean? Think about that. The total of 4 numbers is 32. 8 and 11 are added. What is the new mean? Think about that one and let me know. Think about that one, scholars, and let me know. All right, so Najara is saying just add the 11 and the 8. Add the 11 and the 8. 36 divided by 4 is 6. You sure, Najaro? John says 8 plus 11, that's 19. Add the 19 to the 32 to get 51. And then divide the 51 by 6. So John is right. John is correct. Sajarta says 108 would be the new mean. So John is correct. He's saying, all right, so you're adding two new numbers, 8 and 11. So the total is going to change and the amount of numbers is going to change. So you're going to get a new total. So look. So John says you have 32 now, that's the total, and it's 4 numbers. If you add 8 and 11, so he added 11 and 8, he got 19. And he added the 19 to the 32 because you're adding 2 new numbers, So the total now is going to be 32 plus the 19, which is 51. The new average, the new mean, is no longer 4 numbers, because you added 2 new numbers. It's 6 numbers now. So to find the new mean, you divide the new total by 6. And 6 into 51, so 6 8s 48. So that's 8 times remainder what? 3. And then we add a 0 to that, so it's 8.5, right? 8.5 is the new mean. So that's how we do it. Once you're adding numbers, whether it's 1 number, 2 number, 3 numbers. So John was absolutely correct. Once you're adding numbers, the total is going to change and the amount of numbers is going to change. So you have to find out how much am I adding to the total. 11 plus 8, these are the 2 numbers you're adding. So that's 19 being added to the total. So the new total is 51. And the new amount of numbers is 6. It's no longer 4 numbers. You added 2 numbers to it. So it's 51 divided by 6, and that's 8.5. All right, here's another one similar to that. So everybody should get this now, right? Because it's similar. All right. So this was what, number 9. I hope I'm following the numbers properly. So the total, number 9, come on, mouse, behave. The total of 5 numbers. So 5 numbers, the total is 65. The total of 5 numbers is 65. We're adding 3 new numbers, 9, 6, and 14. We're adding those. So now we want, what is the new mean? What's the new average? All right, so everybody should get this one because it's similar to the one that we just did. So let me see how you're going to handle this one. Everybody should get this one. Just follow the steps that we did last time. The total of 5 numbers is 65. 9, 6, and 14 are added. So what is the new mean? So post your answers for number 9 as soon as you get it. Everybody should get this one. John, double check that answer again. Double check it. Double check it for me, please. Okay, all right. So now I'm seeing. Okay. Let me see what the others have. Come on, scholars. Work it using the example we just did, example 8. Where are my other scholars? Where are your answers? Sajarta says 109 is the new mean. So Najaro is starting out by adding 9 plus 6 plus 14, and he gets 29. So John says he added the 9, 6, and 14 to the 65. So he added the 29 to the 65 and he got 94. And then he divided that 94 by 8. All right, so Najaro is doing the same thing. So Najaro added the 29 to 65 and got 94. Because remember, we get the mean by dividing the total by the number of things, right? So the total is 65, it's 5 numbers. These 3 numbers are going to be added. So let's find out how much more it's going to be when we add these 3 numbers. So 9, 6, 14. When we add those, we get 29. So the total is going to change. The total is now 94. And how many numbers are there now? It's no longer 5 numbers. We added 3 more numbers. It's 8 numbers now. So the total is 94 and it's 8 numbers. So the new mean would be 94 divided by 8. 8 into 9 one time, remainder 1. 8 into 14 one time, remainder 6. And 6 over 8 cancels to 3 over 4. So it's 11 3/4 or 11.75. So John, you had said, okay, so John got 11.75. So Najaro, how you stopped at, why you dividing the 94 by 7? It's 8 numbers. Okay, so you just changed it. Right, because remember there were 5 numbers first. We're adding 3 new numbers. So now it's 8 numbers. All right. So, all right. So we have 4 more questions to go. We have 4 more questions to go. So let's dive into them. So let's see now question 10. Question 10. So the mean of three numbers. The mean of three numbers is 14. 6 and 8 are added. So what is the new mean? The new mean. The mean of three numbers is 14. The mean of three numbers is 14. 6 and 8 are added. What is the new mean? So let me see the answers coming in now, guys. I see Najara doing something, but he's making a mistake. He's making a mistake. Najara, you're making a mistake there. It's different from the one we just did. In the one we just did, they told us the total, you know. This time they are giving you the mean. So there has to be a different approach, right? There has to be a different approach. So think about it a little more. Okay, so let's see. So John says he multiplied the mean by 3. So that this original mean that we're starting with, 14. Remember, that's not the total, that's the mean. So since it's three numbers and the mean is 14, so John says multiply the 14 by 3, and he got 42, and then add the two numbers that are being added here, the 6 and the 8. So now he's going to get a new total of 56. And then he's going to divide that now by 5, because it's now 5 numbers now, not 3 numbers again, because you added the 6 and the 8. So now it's 5 numbers. All right, so I'm seeing Aiden and Najaro so they're at the step where they're multiplying the 14 by 3. So you guys have to put some speed in it. Or what's gonna happen is I'm going to be announcing the answers, and it's gonna look like you're just writing it as I announce it. So you have to work faster, right, guys? So we know the mean, we know how many numbers. So to get the total, we multiply the mean by the amount of numbers, and that gives us 42. Now we're going to add the 6 and the 8. 2 new numbers coming into the mix. Add those to the total that was there already. So the new total now is 56. And the new mean would be the 56 divided by 5 now. 5. The 3 numbers that were there first plus these two numbers, so that's 5. So that's 1, 5 into 5, 1, 5 into 6, 1, remainder 1. So it's 11.2, or 11 and 1/5. All right, so John is making a good representation of himself here. All right, so Sajarta, his answer came in the nick of time, 11.2. So we have 3 more questions to go. This one is similar to the one we just did. So everybody should get it. Everybody should get it. It's similar to the one we just worked. And remember, practice makes perfect. So after we've done this, you're going to watch back the video and you're going to practice at home. Set yourself some problems, or ask mommy or daddy or big sis or big brother to set you some problems. So 8, so we have 8 numbers, right? And the mean is 105. It's 8 numbers, the mean is 105. And we have 3 numbers being added: 10, 3, 10, 3, and 5 are added. So 10, 3, and 5 are added. And they want to know what is the new mean. Everybody should get this within 2 seconds. 2 seconds flat. So what's the new mean? Two seconds flat. Come on, guys. Your time is up. We did one exactly like this. So walk me through the steps. Walk me through the steps. And we have 2 questions after this. Sajarta is saying 220. Is that your final answer, or that's a step in your process? So how many say John a type nothing? John, you're always on top of things, so what's up? Other scholars, let me hear your thought processes, what's going on in your heads. So remember, okay, so that was a step. So let's do like what we just did, right? So we are told the mean. We know the mean, we know how many numbers. So the total of the 8 numbers. Why is my mouse misbehaving? It's 8 numbers and the mean is 105. So the total would be the mean times the 8. 8 5s 40 and 8 1s 8. All right, so 840 was the total. Now we're adding these to it. So the 840, something is up with my mousey. So the 840 plus 10 plus 3, 13 plus 5, 18. So the 840 plus 18, that's gonna give 858. So the new mean, it was 8 numbers, we add 3 more numbers, so we divide now by 11. All right, so 858 divided by 11. 11 into 85, that goes what? 7 times? So that's 77. So remainder 8, I believe. And 11 into 88 goes 8 times. So the new mean is 78. 78. 2 questions to go. So question 12. So we have 4 numbers and the mean is 8. The mean is 8, right? The numbers 6 and 2 were removed. So we took out number 6 and number 2. Sorry, they should be removed. They were removed. So what is the new mean? So prior to this, we have been adding numbers. This time, we are removing 2 numbers. Number 6 and number 2 were removed from the batch. So what's the new mean? So this is the second to last question. So let me hear what you're saying here now. So it's 4 numbers, and the mean of those 4 numbers is 8. Number 6 and number 2 were removed. So what is the new mean? What's the new mean? All right, so it's 4 numbers and the mean is 8. So that means the average of those 4 numbers, the total of those 4 numbers is 8 times 4, which is 32. Now, if we're going to take out 6 and 2, 6 and 2 is 8, right? We're removing 8. So take out 8 from the 32. That leaves 24. So 2 numbers remain and the total is 24. So the mean would be 24 divided by 2 now, not 4 anymore, because 2 numbers gone. So the new mean is 12. So we multiply the first mean by the 4 numbers. The total is 32. 6 and 2 are removed. 6 plus 2, that's 8. So we take out the 8. So the new total is 24 and 2 numbers are left. So 24 divided by 2, that's 12. And the last answer, so we have 5 numbers and the mean is 45. Five numbers and the mean is 45, right? I am going to remove 36, 48, and 20. So these numbers are removed. Okay. So if the last 2 numbers are the same. So what are those numbers? The 2 numbers that are left, but they are the same number. So what are those numbers? Okay, so let's see how we're going to work that. So it's 5 numbers and the mean is 45. We're removing 36, 48, and 20. And the last 2 numbers, they are the same. So like if one is 10, the other is 10, right? So what are those numbers? Let me hear your reasoning process here. It's 5 numbers. The mean is 45. We're removing 36, 48, and 20. And the 2 numbers that remain, they are the same thing. So what number is it? All right, so let's go. So the mean is 45, is 5 numbers. So 45 times 5. So 5 fives, 25. 5 fours, 20 plus 2, 22. That's the total. Let's add up the total of the numbers we're removing. So that's 36, 48, and 20. So that's 104. So we're removing 104 from the 225. So let's subtract that. So that's 121. So the 2 numbers that are remaining out of the 5 numbers, they add up to 121. And if the 2 of them are the same, so we just divide 121 by 2. And that would be 60.5. So each of the numbers that remain is 60.5, which would also be the average. Since it's just the 2 of them left back, that's their average as well. The average of the 2 numbers is 60.5. All right, so that's it in terms of our worded problems involving the mean. So I want you to remember, you can always go back and revise, look back at these videos. They are there for you on the channel. All right, so that's it for worded problems involving the mean.